Welcome to the 2021 Whitworth University Senior Art and Design Exhibition. This video will walk through this space and take a look at the work of the individual artists. You'll also have the opportunity in the coming weeks to hear the artists and designers tell their own stories in their own words and present images of their work. Some things that are presented in the gallery, some things that are not. So starting here, this first piece is by Emily Coy. It's a mixed media piece. It's about 12 feet wide and 8 or 9 feet tall. We'll take a closer look at some elements. It's called In My Space. It's a mixed media piece made up of some elements cut out of plywood. And there's yarn. And then paint on the walls as well. With this video, we'll have the artist statements and the designer statements for each of the individuals presented, so you can read through those and see what they had to say about their work. The next pieces we're going to look at are by Sophia Lizberg. She's presented a series of graphic design projects as well as some prints from printmaking. This is a rebranding for the Whitworth University Art and Design program, creating some posters and other collateral, looking at the new color scheme and font types, the color palette that she would use. Here's some posters designed for each of the individual areas, 2D, 3D design. She also has a series of other items like business cards and letters and folders. These sorts of things would be sent out to incoming majors or incoming students who've been accepted into the program. Her next project was designed for Whitworth University. She was working last summer, the summer of 2020, for the university, and designed the t-shirt that would be worn by the residence life and all the support staff for move-in day for this past year. So this is it's called Resilient Faithful Whitworth is the title of this project, and it actually expanded beyond just the t-shirt. Eventually masks were printed or created. The t-shirts became more widely available. Usually they would have just been printed for the student life workers, RAs, and all the other individuals involved there. The design was printed on the Whitworth Today cover, and she did some other graphic work, illustrations and type things for some of the content in that magazine as well. And her final pieces for the exhibit are a series of prints. And in their in her blog posts. I'm sure you'll get a chance to learn more about each of these projects, each of these pieces, what they mean to her, what the process was like, whatever it is she decides she wants to talk about. Let's look at that trio. Now we're going to move around the corner into our small video space. We have a small sort of closed off space where we could put up some TVs. This next piece is probably not gonna record very well, but is a video walkthrough by Daly Derwenskus. He's a graphic design student who is interested in web design, creating websites. And so he's presented a video of a walkthrough of a couple of the websites that he's designed. The websites are, this may work. Websites are for cloud status and travel far. And you can use, he has some QR codes here that I'll also put in this post so that you can get a closer look at them and the design work that went into those. The next artist that we have in this space is Sean Jones. Sean created a commercial, which you can see on the TV there, which is an advertisement for this object, which I need to step back so you can see that a little bit better. So Sean was working with both sculptural materials and sculptural ideas, and then digital design, sound design. This is right at the end of the commercial. The product that we see here is called Some Goddamn Peace and Quiet. It's a device that helps you quiet the noise that surrounds you on a daily basis. I'm sure in one of Sean's posts he'll have more to say about this. There should be a link at some point so that you can check out the video for yourself. So we'll save that for him to present to you. Gonna move around the corner again. Here we have the work of Kyle Smithgall. He's presented a series of fruit. Kyle is another one of our graphic design majors. His focus has been on illustration. And so he has this trio of fruit that he designed and then printed and framed. So let's take a closer look at each of those. Here's the bananas. And again, he'll have things to say in his blog posts. He'll lay out his ideas and his interest to a greater degree there. So this walkthrough is really just a chance to preview and to see the work in the space, and then the blog posts will be an opportunity for each of the individuals to really tell you more about what it is they're doing, what it is they're interested in. This is Kyle's other piece that he presented in the exhibit. That's he called it a geometric portrait. And in this one, he took the portrait and printed it and mounted it onto foam core and then cut it out, and the white space that you see between the elements, the shadows that you see under the sunglasses, those are on the wall, created by the depth of the material and the light hitting it. The next pieces we'll take a look at are the work of Michael McIntyre. And Michael's been working for a few years now on creating a series, or a couple different series of bongs. He has an interest in becoming a production potter, and so we see him working towards that with what we see here. This series, these 6 on the shelves are in a series called Not All That Shines Is Gold, and each has its own individual name, individual idea behind it. And in these 6, he was experimenting with lusters and using lusters over top underglazes to get those super shiny silvers and golds and opalescence. His other series, or the other pieces that he presented, are in this series here. This is the Let's Get Shipwrecked series. And in these, he used a sgraffito technique to carve figures and narrative elements into the pieces. Let's take a look at each of those. There's a whale. And I'm sure he'll have more to say as well about his pieces when he talks, or when he presents his blog posts. Final artist presenting in the exhibit this year is Zach Ross. He's put together a series of wildlife paintings. This pair looking at bighorn sheep. On this final wall, we have 3 more. This painting of a trio of bison. This is called The Newcomer. The other 2, the lower one was called Bighorn Ram, and the upper one was called The Descent, or titled. Next we have painting of a trio of elk in the winter, and is titled Yellowstone Winter. And his final piece is here. This one's titled Standing in the Light, a pair of twin fawns. And there it is, a walkthrough of the 2021 Senior Art and Design exhibit, briefly looking at the work of each of the individuals presenting. And again, if there's any work that you're interested in seeing more of or learning more about, keep your eyes on the blog, whitworthart.com. And in the next 4 weeks, there'll be a lot more to see and to read.